welcome back. Of course, I hope you already have an amazing day so far. For everyone who is new here, welcome. My name is Iani and I'm doing this DIY channel together with Diane. And of course, I want to keep this intro very short, at least my short, because I'm always a little bit like to talk. So, of course, if you like this content, I hope you will consider subscribing to this channel. You will find the link down below in the description box. There you also find the link for my All About Christmas channel, where you find a lot and lots seasonal uh, DIYs. So enough to see for you, so go ahead, check it out. For today, I'm going to make from an old piece of wood I found with IKEA, and of course my tumbling tower blocks, my favorite. We are going to make our tray, and of course on the tray I'm going to make a little village, so we will see how this will turn out. So come along with me. For this DIY, we need only a couple of things. We need an old piece of wood, and this one is a free wood from IKEA. You can see already when I turn it over, it is been from a drawer, I think from a kitchen. So you can always find in our IKEA, there's always a little crate where you can find free wood. So I took this with me, and of course I was thinking, what can I make with it? So I'm going to make a little display, a little bit of a tray kind of thing. And I use some tumbling tower blocks, some little houses, and also the little houses were only 79 cents, so they were very cheap. So I hope you can buy them also at the Dollar Tree, or maybe in a thrift store that's even cheaper. So this is only a couple of things we need, and we need some black paint, some white paint, and some furniture wax. But that's of course my choice. You can choose any color you like. You see already on my table I have my board, and of course I hope you also have laying around in your garage, or maybe something somewhere in your house you don't use anymore. So I use this one, but it can be a little bit thinner. It doesn't matter, just as long as it has a little a longer piece, and you can make a little tray out of it. It will be a little spring village on top of here. What I did 2 boxes of my tumbling towel blocks under here, because I don't need to paint the underside, because we are standing on it and it gets only little legs under it, so you don't see the underside. So I'm going to paint the sides and the top in the black schoolboard paint. But that's of course, like I said, you can choose any color you like, but I like the black. So I'm going to paint this one in the black color. I think it only needs one coat, if I am correct. So we will see if this will look okay. So I will do this, and then we're going to do the next step. In the meantime, while our board is drying, we are going to make the handles for our tray, and that is very easy. I'm just going to take two pieces like this, and I keep them as a measurement like this. But first what I'm going to do is just going to glue some glue on the one of the blocks. And you see already my glue gun is already retired. He doesn't have any he doesn't want to glue anymore. So like this, we are going to do a second one like this. He's just like me, an old an old lady. So like this, the second one. Now we're going to place them just like this, and we use this one as a measurement. Again, we are going to take two of the tumbling tower blocks. Again, we do some glue in here like this. Glue this one also on top of here. Squeeze it and remove your glue. And now we make another one like this. And we do a block on top again. And squeeze it real hard. And now we have already two, and now we're going to glue them exactly in the middle of this one. So first what we're going to do, we're going to do some glue on the top of this two, squeeze them together like this. And again, I always remove my glue, and you see already it's a lot of glue sometimes like this. And now I'm going to glue this exactly the line in the middle from the other one we have as a measurement like this. So I will do some glue on top of here. I'm sorry, this is one big, one big mess. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure out a little bit where I need only some glue. That's only on this side and on this side. So you have to have 2 of the blocks you use as your measurement. That's always a great thing. So you always know where to glue your piece. Like this, place it down and squeeze it. And now you already have one of your handles, you see, so easy. And what you even can do, if you like a little bit more attachment, you can do 2 blocks also in the middle like this. You can build a little bit high like a stair, so you can do that. But you can also do 1, maybe you like 1 better. I think I'm going for 1, so I will glue the last one on top of here this way. And again, try to get it in the middle, place it down and squeeze it and press. And then you already have one of your handles. I'm going to make the second one. Our 2 handles are finished, so we are going to lay it apart because we're going to do it in some furniture wax, and you can do it in any color you like. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to make my little stands for under my birdhouse. So I'm going to do, I think, 3 like this, and I'm going to look, then I can place it in the middle like this, and then later on I can do some greenery around it. So I'm going to make 1 like this and squeeze it down and press, and I remove the glue like this, and this already 1. Now we're going for the third one like this, and again squeeze and press it down. And then we already have one of our stand first, and I'm not sure if I double it up or not, so I have to see if how I like it on my tray, but maybe I double it up with like this and then do my little house on top of here. So that gives a little bit more, yeah, it's coming a little bit more to life in your village. I made up my mind. I am going to do 2. I'm going to double up, and 2 I'm going to keep on 3 pieces together like this. So this will be again 1 like this, and place them against each other, squeeze it and press it down. And I'm going to double up this one, so I'm going to do some glue on the back side of our little, yeah, I don't know how you call this, and I'm going to twist them because I'm going to turn them around because I want to be sure that it gets a little bit more structure like this. And you see, now we already have our own little stand for our houses. So I make 2 of this one and 2 of the 3 ones. I did all the pieces, the 2 handles, and of course 2 of the bigger stands and 2 of the smaller ones. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to give them some coat of furniture wax, and you don't do the underside because underside will be on the tray. So like this, you just give it a 1 coat, and I use, like I said, the furniture wax, but you can also do the paint like this. So I'm going to do all the pieces, and then we're going to do the next step. All of them are in the furniture wax, and I always like to let them dry in for a couple of I think a little hour, and then I'm going to take my block and go over it with my pieces of kitchen towel and just wipe away the wax we don't need. You see already always coming, a lot of the wax is still coming off. So I will do all of the pieces and then we go further with the little houses. Before I go further, I'm going to do an experiment to try to, from 4 tumbling tile blocks, I'm going to try if I can make a little tree for in my little village display. So if you see this, then it did work. If you don't see it, then it didn't work. It didn't work. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, of course, I should have done my glue gun first. So I'm going to glue the 2 of the sides together like this because we need, of course, a little stand. So we are going to do glue on the side like this. We are going to place it against each other and press it down. Now we already have our stand. Now we're going to do the top of one of the tumbling tile blocks and place the tops against each other like this. And we are getting away of the glue. So what I'm going to do, I'm just take an old piece of garland. This was a very long one, I think 2 meters and 70 centimeters. I think it's more than 1 yard if I am correct. So I'm going to rip off the pieces and you can use any greenery you like this. And now I'm going to try. First I'm going to cut off all the undersides because you see already the undersides are a little bit thick. So I'm going to cut it off like, oh, I have to, looking and in the camera is not great to see. So you see like this. I'm going to take all the pieces off like this. Of course, it's taking a little moment of your time, but when it works, maybe it's also, you can do, if you like to make displays also on display on your tier tray or maybe somewhere else, because then you have your own little trees. But like I said, I don't know if you will see this and if you do, then it did work. So I have all the pieces off like this. I'm pulling it beside. I take this piece and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make a little line with my glue. I think I have to measure out a little bit like this. I think halfway. I'm just going to make a little line of glue and I'm just going to place my piece inside of here and of course one again beside it like this. And we're going to do another one also beside it. Just work a little bit with it like this and I have to keep it in place for a little moment. And now we're going to go on the other side. We are going to do also one over here and one next to it like here and keep it in place again like this. And we're going to bend it over and we're going to do some glue over here and place again some greenery inside of here and just squeeze it in like this and again like this. And I have to keep it in place for a little moment until it is dried up. And of course this looks really strange, but at the end I hope it, it will look okay. So you see we did one row. I have 3 on the flat side and 2 on the smaller one and 3 here and 2 over here. And you just see now we're going to work inside. So I'm just going to take a little bit of glue, do it on the underside of our, and of course don't do the glue the way I do it, just on the tips and just squeeze it in like this. Keep it in place for a little moment and then wait and do the next one. So very easy, just get your piece off, do a little bit of glue on the tips, on the underside and just again squeeze it inside like this so you get a nice bundle on top like. And you see I did already 2 on top of here, so I will do the rest. Of course the only thing is you are really totally under the glue, but don't worry about that. You will work it away again under here and squeeze it inside like this. And we're going to take another one, and so we are going to build it up the second row inside like this. And you probably need a little less than you used in the first row, like this. Squeeze it, and we're going to take another one. It is just a big mess, and that's the way you have to build it. Don't worry about aligning and doing everything in numbers. This time we just have to look for, just squeeze it in and keep it in place until it is dried up. And I'm going to do this one. And it is one, like I said, it is one big mess, but it doesn't matter. And squeeze it inside here and keep it in place. And you see already, we are going to build it up from inside. And I just take some glue, just squeeze it in. It doesn't matter where, as long as we get a nice top of our tree, like this. And we are going to place it inside of here, of course, like this. And again, squeeze this one. And now we're going to also try, because you see already the opening, if we keep it open, you see the top of our block, and we are going to work that also away. Just do one and just squeeze it on the top like this, and just build around it. See, now we build it up just I did. There's no way a wrong or a right way. There's just one big mess. You just do the first round with it, and then just squeeze it in. Just do some glue on the tips and just squeeze it in. And of course, now you have a nice bundle of boxwood on top. And of course, this ending is not the greatest side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a piece of my rope, and I use the rope or twine, a little bit of the smaller one. I do some glue over here. I place my twine inside and wait until it is dried up like this. That's always the main part. Just wait until it is dried up, and then we're going to, I hope I can show it, push it really high, so over the edges of your ending of your stems like this. Try to get it as high as you can, because you want to work away the stems you don't like. So again, go over it and go high. Of course, I hope I showed you this way, because I need to see it myself, or else or else we don't get anywhere. Like this. And then we're going to go, if we have everything covered, then we go down and down, and then we're going to make sure that we have a nice straight line of twine, because we don't want a bad ending, but of course an ugly ending. I have to say that, that's a better word. Like this. And now I am almost finished like this. I'm going to take my tool, and of course I have again not a scissor with me, so I'm doing it with this one. So, but you already know me a little bit. I'm one big chaos. So, and most of the times I have, that's why my DIY is always taking so long, because in my mind there are always coming new ideas which I can do, because this tree was also not the plan. And what we're going to do, we are going to glue this on top of here on the stand. So we do some glue over here, and we're going to place it in the middle like this. And I have to look if I have him totally in the middle, and then squeeze it. And of course, this is not the color we want, because we have the rusty color. So you can paint it in the white color, but I'm going to give it a little bit of the furniture wax. And I think he looks so nice. And now we have a nice little stand with some greenery for in our village. So I will make the second one. And you see already the finished result of our two little trees. And this is just for the first time, and I think they turned out very nice. But of course, this was just a little intermezzo, because this was coming in my head if I could make two little trees from Tumbling blocks myself. So, but I think they look very cute. Of course, you can use any greenery you like. And now we go further right away to our little birdhouses to paint These them. Are the cute little birdhouses, and they are from that very cheap wood, the very thin wood. Of course, you can buy them anywhere. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the sticker because later on we want to glue it on top of our little stand from Tumbling towel blocks. So I hope this will remove a little bit easy, but most of the time it's sometimes a little bit hard to get them off, but I think they are quite easy to get off. So I will remove them, and I will move the little piece of twine they have on top of here, because you can use them in to hang in a spring tree or an Easter tree. So I will remove this one and this one also. Here they are already gone. And then we're going to paint the underside in the little bit of the white chalk paint, but I try to use as less white paint as I can, so it gives a little bit more, the wood is coming through, and the roof is going to do in the black color. You see already, I go over it with a little bit of the white chalk paint, like this. But you can use any color if you like more your birdhouse more like a green color or something else. It doesn't matter, take the color of your choice. I will finish all four of them off, and then we're going to do the little birdhouse as are now in the little bit of the white color. I hope you can see it on camera. I don't think you can really see that it is a little bit of the white. Maybe I show you this side, then you can see that it is in the white. Now we're going to take the black schoolboard paints, and we are going to do little pieces of the roof just in the black color, like this. So I will paint all four of them in the black. And of course we are almost ready to put our tray together. And of course I did the handles, I did the displays where our houses are coming on, our bird houses. But what I totally was forgotten is, of course, we need some legs for our tray. And I'm going to make it with some tumbling towel blocks, but of course you also can make them from four big beads. But I always loving my tumbling towel blocks, so I'm going to make them from this block. So I will make four of them like this. Just do some glue on the biggest side of the block like this, place it on the side, squeeze it and remove your glue again. And so we're going to do another one, because I need four legs, but of course you can glue all of them together and do two legs on each side of your tray. And my last one, and then I'm going to do it, of course, in some furniture wax, because I want everything fitting with the rest of my tray. But if you did paint it in the white or another color, then maybe it's, yeah, maybe you can also paint the legs also in the same color. Maybe that looks a little better, but of course that's just your choice. I'm going to take my piece of kitchen towel, lay it on top of here, get my furniture wax, and I'm going to do some furniture wax on top. And you don't have one side, you don't have to do in the furniture wax, only this side and this side and this and the underside, and this side leave open because it glues a little bit better on top of your wooden board. So I'm going to do all of the sides like this, and then we are going to put our our tray together. You see already our board we painted in the black color. We are going to turn it over like this, and now you see the back side of the board. It's like I said, I think it has been a drawer or something else. At least it's already IKEA phonus. I have really no idea what this is. I take my four legs like this, and I'm going to do some glue on the back side and just glue it like this. And I'm going to glue it in the length of my board like this, and I'm going to do the other one. Of course my glue needs to stick with me like this, and I'm going to place it also on the other side like this and squeeze it like this. Then I'm going to do the other side It is so easy to do. But of course, maybe it's also, I do it with some glue from my glue gun, but of course you also can do it maybe a little bit better with something like a wood glue, like this. And I have to press it down, and I'm going to do the last one. Of course, I have to look that I have the right way. And now I hope they stick very nicely on top of my board when I'm turning it over, like this. And I have to look if I have them on the same side, like this. And I let it dry for a little minute because I want to be sure that my dry is totally dried up. That's dried up. And now we're going to turn the board over like this. And now we already have, you see already the little legs of our tray. And I'm going to place it down like this. That's always the nasty thing of black schoolboard paint. It always gives, everything is sticking to it. So every dust, everything is sticking on it. What I'm going to do some glue on the back side, and I'm going to glue my handles over here, and one of course like here. But you can place them anywhere you like. I'm going to do some glue over here like this, and one over here. So I have to be sure that everything sticks okay, and like this. And again, I'm going to stand up for it and even place it down like this and press it down. This is one. Now we're going to do the other one, and of course we have to get away with our glue, because you see already I'm totally stuck in my my glue. So do it better than I do and don't get stuck in your glue, like this. And I'm going to place it also again like this size, and like this, and press it down, and also let it dry in for a little moment. I put my tray away for a little moment like this. What I'm going to do, I take my stands, at least I call them stands, you know, they are so easy. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take one house of each like this, and I'm going to do glue totally around the house like this, and then we are going to place it exactly in the middle. So I have to be sure that I have both of them in the middle, then squeeze it down like this, and then we're going to do the other one on the bigger stand like this. And you find this little houses everywhere. So I think Dollar Tree will have them, Dollarama will, of course here in the Netherlands you can find them also everywhere. So like this. Now we're going to take the other one, of course the lower stands. We are going to do some glue on this one like this, and place it on top of here like this. We have to this way, and I'm doing the last little birdhouse. And the only thing, I have searched everywhere for little birds, but I still couldn't find it. The only thing I could find were little bunnies. So because it is a spring village, I go for the bunnies, but if I find my birds I will place them also with it. So now we already have our stands with our bird houses, you see. I will show it to you like this. And now what we're going to do, we're going to get our tray again, and we are going to place it. I know you see it a little bit in a different direction, and I showed you in a moment. I will place them over here because you can place them anywhere. I just do it over here, but you can place them anywhere. So I'm going for this setting, I think maybe like this, and this over here, and this way. And I'm taking my trees, and they are going to be placed over here. So I have to look if I have them okay. So I placed you down a little bit like this. I know it is close, I know. But you see, these are the little bunnies. I will use this one was only a 1.55 euro, so it's similar like dollars. And I have a little set of two, and they were only 2 euros. So I could bought better, more like this a little set, but I also bought them loose. So I have here one little one, and of course here also. So I think I'm going to place one next to each other like this, in this way, and maybe I'm going to cut off this, right? And I think this is more like a pair because they are also a little bit different. You see already the bunnies are already, you see, one is in front of here and this. So I think maybe I going to place this one like this and this one like this, so we get a nice little display. And now later we are going to do the trees, but I'm going to glue the bunnies on top of here. You see already the bunnies are on top of here. Now the only thing what we still need to do, I take you with me, we are going to place our trees, I think a little bit like this over here and this one over here. Then I show you the total piece already. I will change it up a little bit, but you see in a moment the end review. And here you see finally the end reveal of our homemade from tumbling tile blocks tray, and of course our little houses and our homemade tumbling tile blocks trees. And I am so happy how the trees turned out. I hope you give it a try. In a moment I show you a peek closer, but for now I want to thank you so much for being here and spending a little moment of your day together with Diane and me. I had so much fun doing this together with you. Of course, I know sometimes my DIYs are a little bit long because I want to show you so much. If you like this content, I hope you will consider subscribing, and you will find the link for this channel and my own channel, of course, in the description box. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Stay safe. See you next time. Bye.